Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I've started this whole live streaming thing on YouTube, and I just have never got um, consistent with it. And I know that that's not a good thing. I have took a lot of time building building up my TikTok page. And one day I was on TikTok and they said, someone asked me what was my journey about and what was the journey that I was on. Yeah, y'all watching me braid my hair while I talk to y'all. And asking me what journey was I on. So I may have explained it to you guys before in the um previous video. I'm not really sure. So I'm just going to start fresh. Okay. Because the last thing I want to do is leave people confused or left behind, not knowing what's going on. I'm going to try to make it a little brighter. And I know what's going on. So, small introduction. My name is Rashida, and I am the mother of two beautiful young ladies, the grandmother of a beautiful 2-year-old grandson. My broke best friend is what I call him. And I'm a sister, I'm an auntie, I'm a great auntie, and I'm a friend most of all. Um, I'm a prayer warrior. Um, I believe in God and every being in me. Um, and I am the owner of Kingdom Scented. Okay. So a little bit about Kingdom Scented is I make and sell natural products. Okay. No type of chemicals are in my products. So I make soap. I make scented body oils. I make Yanni, the oil and the soap. I make hair treatment, hair oil. I make beard treatments. I make facial the orange peel serum and moisturizer. What else do I make? Candles. I can't forget my candles. Lip balm. Lotion. I make lotion for men. I make lotion for women. I make body wash, men and women. Um, Everything I do, if I do it for men, if I do it for women, I do it for men. I also make like the little necklaces and bracelets and stuff that the men be wearing. I also make them for the women. Um, and I will start making t-shirts, which I was doing t-shirts before. And I think when I was doing t-shirts was the last time I got on here, but I stopped doing it. I was making t-shirts and I was making a host of things: t-shirts, glasses, purses, book bags. I was doing a host of things, but it started to get boring to me. So I had to figure out like what else can I do to keep my attention, because the one thing that I didn't want was my business just to go down the drain. I worked so hard to get the name, you know what I mean? Even though the business hasn't moved, okay? But I'll get into that in a little while. A little bit of my history. I lost my mom when I was 8. Well, I lost my oldest sister when I was 5. I lost my mom when I was 8. I lost my other sister in 95, and the grandmother who raised me in 98. And I lost a cousin in between that, two cousins. And I lost a niece. And my father passed away in 2009. I have one sibling, and that's my little brother. My mom had 4 children, 3 girls and a boy. The other 2 girls are gone. One had a bad heart, and she died from that heart attack. And the other one, um, an abusive relationship, and you know he did what he said he was gonna do. Um, I still grieve. I think my grief, I like put it behind me or in the back of my brain, because I don't want to think about it much, because I find myself upset with um, each one of my family members. Like it's like they all had ways to prevent, because I do believe that um, people try without knowing, try to help God do his job and do things to take themselves out, things that they know they're not supposed to do. For me, it's a form of, you are hurting yourself, because if you do this, then this could happen. So that's what happened with my older sister. Um, she got a hold of something, and she wasn't supposed to, because she had that bad heart. And when she did, took her out. It took her out. So I'm upset with her because that happened. I'm upset with her because of that. I'm sorry, y'all. And then I have anger towards her and anger towards my mother and my father because they was there and they knew her condition just as well as she did. But being the parents, why wouldn't you stop her? You yourself being the one with the condition, why not stop yourself? Right? I don't understand it. I'm not understanding it because of that. I'm angry because I feel like if you wouldn't have did it and if they wouldn't have allowed you to do it in front of them, then you would be here. You would be here. Like what was they thinking? So it's like, do you even care? Could I say that the addiction, can I blame it on the illness that nobody stopped her? Nobody. I know it's like you grown, you could do what you want to do, but yeah, she was grown. She was, in her early 20s. Okay? You didn't have to watch her do it. You didn't. You were supposed to prevent, because what happened to protect them? I would never ever be able to see, my children, do something like that, knowing the effect. It's like a cause and effect type of thing. I would never, let them take that action, because in that action is gonna be a reaction, and it may not be a good one. So I'm not even gonna, play with it that way. So I don't understand. Like back then, you never know what was going on back then, especially if you ain't grow up as an adult back then. Back then, kids were just, a lot of the times we was just kids, um, because we ain't had no other choice. You know what I'm saying? Like they listened to the old music that they was listening to back then, and that stuff stuck with us. A lot of us still listen to that music. Why? Because we listen to our parents listen to it, you know. But in the midst of those, I still feel angry. I still feel angry. And I will and I have been working on forgiving. Um my next to the older sister, like I said, was in an abusive relationship. And she had finally got out this abusive relationship, because she too had an addiction. And when she got off of, she went through the treatment and everything. And when she got off of, you know, she met someone. She was truly in love with him. Thought they was gonna get married, and he broke up with her. And that right there really tore her apart, which I can understand why. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll know why um people go through what they go through over, you know, relationships. She didn't start back with the addiction, but she began to do all the things that she's always wanted to do. Doing hair, she was working. She had got her children back from DCFS, and she had did everything that she was supposed to do, and she was living. She was living. She was happy with the man she was with. You know, his family loved her. She loved them. They loved her children. Their children loved them and considered them family. And he decided to do something different, which is perfectly fine, you know, but it took my sister down a dark path. And that's what I mean. Like when I be telling people, be careful. I say it on TikTok all the time. Just be careful on what you say, how you say it. You know what I mean to people because you never know what their mindset is already, and what you may say may push them over the edge. You know what I mean? So you be careful, like what you say to people. And he wasn't real careful about it, you know, which he didn't have to be. I mean, he's a grown human being and he take responsibility for his own actions, and she take responsibility for her own actions, and however he decided to deal with it is how he decided to deal with it, and however she decided to deal with it is how she decided to deal with it. But the way she decided to deal with it is what made me angry, because she was doing hair and everything, so proud of her for doing it. We had all the women in my family had went. We were supposed to be going to her. She was gonna do everybody hair. We was gonna all go out for Mother's Day. So instead, she had made plans with her best friend, right? And as far as she knew, her and her best friend was gonna go out. So of course, we all was a little upset, like, man, you're supposed to be with us, but okay, you grown, you gonna do what you wanna do. It's plans you had before, before we got our plans together. But anyway, she went. Her best friend took her. She parked her car at her best friend's house. And her best friend took her. And they went to a park or something. Um, I don't know if anyone is familiar with Lakeshore Drive, but um, her ex was there. Now, mind you, her abusive ex is the best friend's cousin. And she did not tell my sister that he was going to be there. So when my sister got there, she just wanted to leave. She didn't want to stay. She just wanted to leave. She didn't want to be in his presence. So instead of the cousin taking her back to her car, the brother, her cousin, was supposed to take her back to her car. Now, mind you, she brought clothes to my grandmother's home. Um, she brought clothes to my grandmother's home as if for her kids, as if they was gonna be there for a while. You know, nobody think of nothing. She just made sure her kids had enough clothes. But when everything happened, it was like, this is why she brought all these clothes. Like, cause what other reason would she bring all these clothes if she wasn't expecting them to stay? Well, anyway, he's taking her home and he decides to jump on her and he robbed her and he ran into a light pole and broke her neck. So they told us that if she would have lived, she would have been a vegetable. And of course, of course, nobody want to live like a vegetable. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to watch. And it's especially hard for them. You know, if it wasn't the vegetable status, I never had a problem with taking care of my sister. But if I would have let them keep her on the ventilator until, you know what I mean, people was ready to take her off the ventilator, then that's unfair, you know, because they get tired too. So, you know, sometimes we think about it and we think about it, but we think of our own reasoning instead of what they going through. Like if you know that you will get tired of people changing your diaper or bathing you, or that's not the life you want to live, then you're not going to like that life, you know. So why keep that family member in that life? They don't want to live that life. They want to live a different life. You know what I mean? So because she wasn't into that, then um, just let her be. We just let her be. Um, my dad passed away due to renal failure. But let me tell you, I'm mad at my sister because my sister should never got in that car. I'm mad at my sister because my sister should have just went with us. And yeah, I know God seen different. Okay, I know. But still, she should have got in that car. She shouldn't have never, because that best friend turned on her and told everything that she was doing, whether it was illegal or legal. Okay, she gave us the runaround about her car. We couldn't find her car, and all this other little crazy stuff was going on. It was just stupid, retarded, and it was just like, don't tell now. You weren't telling before, so what you telling now for? Like, shut up. You know, you making things worse. Like, what can somebody do to her now? Like, really? But she did it. And what could we do? We just had to go with it. We had to go with it. That's it. There wasn't nothing else for us to do. I never did say why I was angry with my mom. I was angry with my mom because the day before, the day before, she had just returned home off of a spree. So as y'all can see, I've been around addiction, illness all my life. I've watched it. Okay. Mothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, father, just I've watched it. Cousins, I've watched it. My mother had just got back off of one of her little day streaks or whatever she used to do. However, she used to do it. I just remember her being gone for a long time, for one moment, for a certain amount of time, or you know, I wouldn't see her a certain amount of days, and then she show up. But this time, she showed up, and she showed back up at home sick. She didn't leave home sick. My mother suffered from asthma, and I'm thinking the asthma attack is what sent her home, because her treatment and stuff was there. So she had tried everything, you know, to bring it down, and you know, I literally watched my mom go through this, and then she went to sleep. So me and my brother and my nephew went in our rooms and we went to sleep. And we woke up to my dad screaming. And you know, my dad told us when once we got old enough that he felt the wind come through the window. You know, You know what I mean? So it was like her spirit was going out the window, but he felt the breeze. You know what I'm saying? Coming back in and it hitting him and waking him up. But my mom was gone and they tried to arrest him um, for smothering her. And um, he went through that, which we all knew that he would never. That was a love that was gonna be eternal. Um, and like it ended up, death did them part. My dad began to date her best friend though. Like I mean, right away, as if it was something that was already going on. Like right away. It wasn't 5 minutes. You know, they was together at the funeral. Like it makes sense. But I'm a kid. What do I know? But he had a lot of nerve. She had a lot of nerve. Really. Then he get locked up and he go to jail, prison. And then he come out and then he wanted to be a father. And he slapped me because I had ran away. And when I got back, he had slapped me. And I was excited to see him. You know, it's his first day home. I was excited to see him. Y'all, that man slapped me. I called I called the police and told the police. And I told him, I said, you can't come home and just be acting like no daddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever put your hands on me. Like real talk, don't ever put your hands on me. Whether he was my father or not, I feel like he disrespected me. He disrespected my brother. He disrespected my mother. Like, who do you think you are? Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on us. You can't just go to jail, be in prison, come home. Before you come see your children, you go and see the best friend and her children. And then when we see you, it's because you need to have somewhere to come or while you on house arrest. And no, my grandmother didn't like them, but she allowed it. It didn't last long. So when my father passed, he was in renal failure due to diabetes, and he was on dialysis. And I was his power of attorney. But as long as he could speak for himself, there was nothing that I could do to get him to do anything. He had a right to do what he wanted to do. I didn't have no control over that. You know what I mean? I wasn't that type of power of attorney. You know, he made me the power of attorney for when he can't make decisions on his own. So he stopped going to dialysis. Okay. And I took care of my dad. I was living in a whole different state. But I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He had opened up a store, you know, we had opened up a boutique, whatever, and you know, it was doing okay. He was doing good. But the owner of the little strip mall sold the property. So he had to close the store down. When he closed that store down, my dad went down. Like the diabetes got worse, everything just got worse for him. You know what I mean? Everything just got worse for him. So now it's like, okay, my dad is sicker. So what do I do now? Dad get put on dialysis. Dad go to dialysis a couple of times. Dad try to do all the herbal stuff, and he's declining. He's declining, And the state came because dialysis reported to the state that he wasn't coming to dialysis. So I get a phone call from the state saying that I was going to be arrested. My brother was going to be arrested. My nephew and his girlfriend was going to be arrested. So what are we being arrested for? Because you didn't force your dad to go to dialysis. That's not my job. That's not what the power of attorney papers say. As long as he can make decisions on his own, then I have no say so. So I don't, and in the midst of it, my dad was still cracking jokes. They asked him, how long have you not been able to breathe? He told them all his life. That wasn't true. Daddy was being a jokester like he always is. He told him, you and your friends can go on. I'm not going with y'all. I'll get my own way. Don't talk to me. Get out my house. Like, it was crazy. He was talking and he was cracking jokes. He was doing him. So you taking me to jail for what? So they got him to the hospital. And I got a scare that he had passed on. It wasn't true. So I went to Chicago and I'm back and forth. Me and my ex-best friend, we back and forth to the hospital. We'll sit up there with him for a while. I took my kids up there to see him with my significant other at the time. We took the kids to see him, and it seemed like he was fighting anxiety, but it wasn't like that type of anxiety. It was anxiety like he felt like he was slipping, so he'll hop up, And I asked him, I said, is you trying to fight death? Is you fighting anxiety? What's up? And he was like, I don't know. So he hugged both of my kids. And then I walked up to him and gave him a hug. And he was like, ooh, cigarettes sure smell good. I said, it sure do. And you can't have one because I was smoking at the time. So my jacket smelled like cigarette smoke and he liked to smoke. But that was over. So we left. But when we came back, he wasn't like conscious. So I don't know what happened. He went unconscious. He was not responsive. Like everything was functioning fine. Brain, everything was functioning fine. Then they told me they gave him some medicine to sedate him because he was pulling out the port for dialysis. He pulled it out. Okay. So then he woke up. They took him to dialysis. He was flirting with the nurses and stuff. And then when he told me to get him 2 hot pockets, and told me to tell the nurse and them to put it in the refrigerator for him. But when he get ready to eat, I did all of that. Okay. So when he got back upstairs, after a while, he was unconscious again. So I'm thinking, why do he keep, this time he never ever woke up. He never ever opened his eyes again. So my last time going up there at the time, he was on nurse's watch. A nurse had to be in his room 24/7. And the last time I went to see him, I told him, to ask God for forgiveness, and if he's ready, then, he could go and we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Um, I go to the bus station. Oh, they tell me they're gonna send him home that same day. They tell me they're gonna send him home. So I go to his house and I clean up the house for when they do send him home. So I cleaned up his house and I took everything that could be stolen out and took it. I was gonna take it to where I live. So I went to the Greyhound station because they was gonna send him home that next morning. So I took him to the Greyhound station. I took the property to the the Greyhound station. And the first time I missed the bus, like it was crowded, so I had to wait on another bus to come. So when I waited on the other bus to come, while I'm sitting there, yeah, I get the call. He was at peace. He didn't have no pain. He wasn't in no pain, but his organs shut down one by one. My dad was gone. Through all we had been through, that was my best friend. That was a man that I knew loved me unconditionally. I knew that he wouldn't judge me. I knew that he was gonna give me his honest opinion. He was gonna tell me if I was right. He was gonna tell me if I was wrong. You know what I mean? He was gonna tell me if it was best for me or if it wasn't. He always said, "Don't ever, ever, ever let nobody call you stupid and you show them that you're stupid. That burns a hole in me." And I never did. My dad used to always tell me, be careful, because one day could change your life for the rest of your life. And I always say, Daddy, that one day you changed my life for the rest of my life. Yeah, and that happened. I was upset with my dad because why wouldn't my dad just go to dialysis? But then I think I wasn't in his shoes. I didn't know. I don't know how dialysis feel. I don't know. I don't know how he felt about dialysis. I don't know. I don't know. He was tired of it. Evidently, he stopped doing it. He was tired of it. So, okay, let's move on. It was one of the worst times in my life. Like, buying my dad last outfits, seeing my dad for the last time, putting him down in the ground. Like, I could have jumped down there with him. It was horrible, guys. It was horrible for me. I didn't react too well. My mind was gone. Like, I gave up on life. I gave up on my children. I gave up on the relationship I was in. I was just out doing stuff that I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing. I lost it. I wasn't thinking about nobody. All I knew is I wanted my daddy, and I wanted my daddy back right now. If I get my daddy back, I'll get me back. I'll get my children back right. But I didn't, because he wasn't coming back. That's hard, y'all. You know, it's much easier to lose your family, a parent or something, when you're younger and you just don't understand it, stand it. But when your parent die, when you in your 20s and your 30s and you done had all this time with them, it hit different. It is different. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. And I mean that. It's nothing like it. Have I completely grieved? No, I never grieved my dad. And I still haven't grieved my dad. My dad came to me in a dream the other day, and he never, right after he passed away, he stopped coming to me in my dreams. He was coming to me in my dreams, like just to die on me. We can be at some type of celebration, barbecue, or something, and we would be talking, and then he would die. So it was like you keep coming, but you keep dying. Like, what do I'm supposed to take it at? You're not resting. Something is causing you not to rest. And then the dreams just stopped. The other day, I had a dream. He came to me. I ain't seen my dad in a long time. My dad came to me and said, I got stage 4 liver cancer. And I said, what do you mean? He said, the doctor said my daughter has something to do with it. Now, I'm his only daughter. And you know, my mind don't work like normal people minds do. But he said it, and I'm thinking, what I got to do with it? He was like, man, you know how crooked these doctors is. And left the dream, right? So I wake up, and people that know me know I was on Google the symptoms. I call my doctor. I need to get my liver checked out. Like, I'm tripping. Like, what do you mean your daughter? It's because of your daughter. Like, do that mean I got something going on, or what do that mean? My doctor was like, no, you okay. Liver is like, we don't need to do no other tests. You just got tests done last month. Like, your liver is fine. Whatever, whatever. I said, well, am I showing any signs of it or something? She was like, no. But that's who I am. Like, don't say nothing, I'm gonna trip out. I'm going to the doctor. Like, that's what they there for. Shoot, I go to the doctor. I don't got no problem with going to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor for everything. You hear me? Everything. Okay? Even after intercourse, I get up. I go to the doctor right away. I don't play no games. That's why I've been the way I am, like, single for 4 years, and no, not interacting with no one. No, do do I want to? Yes, a lot, but I can't. I just can't. Women, we all worth more, and we don't settle because it feel good to her. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we can't let her think for us because we'll be making some wrong decisions. I'm one of them women. I have made some wrong decisions, letting her control what situations went, period. And we can't do that, you know? So I wanted to get on here and reintroduce myself and start this journey. There's so much more I have to tell. I will only do them in 45-minute increments. Um, and once I get all of that out the way and get you current, then we'll start doing more things. You'll start seeing me live and seeing my family and interacting with us. And, just, I'm going to just post y'all up and let y'all just watch us. Because, sometimes there be some crazy stuff going on. My grandson is so funny. My daughter is a jokester. My other daughter, she's just funny. She don't even be knowing, you know. But they have some beautiful, beautiful dogs that I always been scared of dogs. I always been scared of dogs. And they got these big old pit bulls, but I love these dogs so much. I'm not scared of them either. But I love you all. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that notification button. Come on, y'all. Ask questions. Give me some interaction. Show me some love. Okay? I'll be looking forward to it. You all have a great day.